All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get the introductions underway. I am CB Smallwood, and you are watching Sketching Past Midnight. I'm, of course, your somewhat humble host. Special shout out to all my loyal, royal, faithful, and true crew who've stuck with me through thick and thin and may end up watching this replay a little bit later because everybody is probably in bed. So let me stretch me. Let me flex my comic muscles. I got me an old 10-piece chicken nugget. Usually these things, McDonald's. Okay, McDonald's is only good after the first 10 to 15 minutes. After that, it's hot garbage. No, it's cold garbage. That's the way. But for whatever reason, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really feeling these nuggets. uh, and I'm sorry that I'm being a little slow. And in the last couple of these streaming past midnights, I've been purposely kind of biding my time to give anybody that wants a chance to get in here from the beginning to do so. So tired. Not so much sleepy, but physically tired. So before we get started in today's activities of sketching, I want to share with you something that many of you have seen before, which is the um, Wildcat comic from New Empire. That's my company. This is my character, and I colored this bad boy. I inked it, and I written it, and did all this stuff. Now, what you're actually looking at isn't so much a finished comic, but this was more like a proof or demo, whatever you want to call it. Before I launched my failed with a capital F, my failed Indiegogo campaign for Wildcat, which was like I think last year or something. I actually went to this company here, Kablam, and what I wanted to do is I was going to give them a shot, and I was going to let them print the comic if it got fulfilled. And basically, what I wanted to do prior to the whole Indiegogo thing, I wanted to kind of work some stuff out, kind of figure stuff out about formatting and all these different things. So I took the rough files that I had that I hadn't really cleaned up or did anything. That's a little bug. I hate that. Get out of here. I'm in the kitchen right now, and outside there's like a back porch, and there's a light, and there's all these little green bugs that have went psychotic over it, And basically, a few of them made their way into the house, and now they're being a nuisance, and they must go away. Anyway, yeah, this is this is a same paper quality as the cover is what's in the interiors. Glossy, and yeah. I had this was like just some crude mock-up ad that I did too. I was going all out, experimenting, like if I did an ad, how would it kind of look, how would I want to approach it. So this was a mock-up ad, not the final ad that you would actually see. And I actually needed to put this in here, and the reason was I had this double page spread because the way these the way comics are put together is, I think it's like in twos or something like that. I'm not for sure. But in order, if I did not have this filler page, then basically what would end up happening is you would only see half of the splash page. I can't really explain it to you, but you have to trust me on it, you know. But yeah, sketching past midnight. I know I'm flipping through this fairly quick, but yeah, yeah. So this was a cool thing, and one thing is when they did this proof for me, they actually doubled up his fingers here on the main edges here, so it printed kind of weird. And the double page spread, though you can't really tell through the camera, was kind of mucked up. It looked kind of digitized as compared to the other pages. And the folks at Kablam were really cool. They fixed those for me, and they sent me another proof free of charge. Okay, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I mean, I had to pay for the first one. So that was pretty cool. That was good of them. But yeah, I just want to show you this for no reason. You know, I kind of felt like it was a good idea to have something on camera before I got started. Kind of wanted to warm up, you know, not go in cold. So in today's video, I figured what we would do is I was thinking about going ahead and working on the double page spread of Wildcat. I don't have the pages handy. I mean, they're in my portfolio over here, this big black thing, but I just don't want to dig them out. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of start doing the prep work here for the double page spread. And basically get them away. There we go. You know, if nobody's never done this before, which I'm no professional, you want your edges to be flush. You want it to no mayhem. And use this tape. Well, actually, you want to use the blue tape. I feel like the blue tape is better, but this tape is fine. This is what kind of tape does this say this is? I don't know, whatever. But you want to use like a painter's tape. You know, painters have their own special tape that is sticky enough to stick on stuff, but not sticky enough to peel off textures or paint or anything like that. Have you ever put tape on something and then you didn't want it on it, and so you peeled it off and like it destroyed the surface or whatever it was on? Well, painter's tape is designed not to do that. You know, it's just kind of designed to cover things up. So if you're painting or whatever, like or whatever the deal is, it doesn't muck anything up, you know. Right now I'm being a little over meticulous, maybe. All right, I got to be quiet for a second. I got to focus. I don't want to mess this up. Now, one big long one of these. Come on now, don't be dumb. Did I muck it up? Let me see. And I should be fine. What's all this crud? Ah, goodness. Super professional I am. All right. Doing the thing I should have done in the first place. Make a wish. Also, what time I get ready here? I had a couple people actually leave some comments and stuff like that, and I just want to let you know I'm not ignoring you or anything like that. I am famous for for taking my time writing people back. Where is my reference material here? Dang it. It was here somewhere. I'll find it. I think I found it. So this is the rough idea of what I was wanting to do. Kind of like it, and you know, the 4-page Wildcat story that I'm doing of him being chased by chainsaw ninjas is potentially going to be featured in a in somebody else's comic book, and I don't know, they've not given me a time frame or anything like that I need to, you know, have stuff done. And so I'm just kind of pretending that they kind of need that stuff soon. You know. And so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just get something together, so that way I won't be caught with my pants down with a pencil still in my hand. Now, that sounds kind of bad, doesn't it? That sounds bad. But you get the idea. And I can always just do another double-page spread of something else. Who knows? Get this crap out of here. Got to fix this tape on the back here. Now, what time I'm doing this? For those of you, which it's just one individual right now, and thank you for being here for however long you choose to stay. Hope you had a good 4th of July. That's a holiday you celebrate. And see, what the heck? It is what it is. All right. And actually I had some notes here so I could be somewhat prepared. Oh gosh. I shot a lot of fireworks at my family's house, and they had like this thing of it was like it was this big tube. It was basically what would you call that? You know, people in the military know what it is. It's just a tube, and you drop down the explosive, and you light the fuse. It's a big long fuse, and then you run away, and it shoots up in the air, and it's a big large explosion. I had one of those, and it's my first time shooting one of those, and you know, I don't enjoy stuff like that. You know, I do somewhat enjoy watching fireworks, but I don't enjoy being the person that lights them. You know, I feel like I'm going to blow up. So before I get started, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of draw like an imaginary border here, and I'm being very what is the word? It's not liberal. It's not conservative. No, this isn't politics. Trust me. I'm being very kind of in between. You know, some people like their border to go a little further up, and you can't really see the border that I'm drawing. Sorry. But the reason I'm slopping this down is because as I start to work on this double-page spread, I want to have kind of like an idea of where the cutoff point is at. So whenever comics are printed, get out of here, you weird little thing. Go, shoot. Whenever comics are printed, there is sections of the page that actually get cut off. Let's see. So if we look at this first thing, sorry about the glare, by the way. If we look at this first thing at the main bottom, you can actually see the fine print or whatever of some of the paper that I like to use. I like to use blue line paper, and I also like to use paper that's just blank, 11 by 17 in size. And these are basically instructions on how to do single pages and double page spreads and stuff. And anyway, like everything that's within this square that they've kind of predetermined is safe for print. So what that means is when it comes time to print, none of your artwork will be cut off when it comes time to print. And so they got like, different, it gets into the danger zone once it gets out here. I wonder if there's anything that I did here that kind of, yeah. Now, the people at Kablam did an awesome job with this, because unless I'm mistaken, I don't think any of my artwork actually got cut off in this double page spread. I'm really happy with this double page spread, with the exception of Wildcat himself, because that's not the pose that I would draw now for him, for several reasons, anatomical problems, and also not the ideal look of what I was wanting to go for, So anyway, and back to the point, you can't really see because I drawed very faintly for a reason, I did like an imaginary border going all the way across the paper, top, bottom, and sides. So, if I draw like somebody's arm going off the page, I know that there's a risk that some of their fingers may get cut off when it's time for print and stuff. So any important details that I don't want mucked up, as long as I stay roughly within that square that I drawn for myself, I should be okay. All right. Moment of truth. You get a swig before you get started. That's going to be kind of hard to do because I got this, freaking camera in my way here, but we'll try. So what I want to do up here is I'm introducing a new character. So I want to kind of have some panels in this double page spread that kind of show the guy showing up. Sorry about the lack of focus here. This poor camera's struggling. It's just a little faint square. It's not necessary. So I think I'm going to draw another one here. A little bigger, maybe. I don't know. All right, so I got my little faint squares. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to figure out, because I did some poor pre-planning, how I'm going to show up the bad guy going from here to here, and then he's going to be larger than life here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start sketching this out, getting the head, torso, and I accidentally kind of drew, you can't see crap. What's the crap? I accidentally kind of drew the head kind of facing in this direction. That's okay. I kind of like how that's looking, so I'm gonna continue that. I'm not gonna fight that. I'm gonna see where that takes me. And just to let you know, I know you can't really see what I'm doing here. I apologize. Normally, I kind of like to go be in stage 2 when I show you guys stuff, where you can actually see a lot of the line work and stuff. But it's important that when you're freaking drawing stuff, that you sketch lightly, because you don't know. I mean, I'm going to end up erasing this. I know I will. So you want to sketch lightly, and then you want to kind of find the lines that you like. Let's see here. Can't really tell, but I'm a big fan of the hidden arm fist thing. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? You see that a lot in comics where here, let me actually draw something you can see. Sort of like so we got this guy. got a center line, so you kind of know where everything's at. Okay. And God, this thing's terrible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, and you kind of draw like a little bit of a shoulder, and then you draw like just this thing sticking out here. It's a fist. I like that. I like that type of thing. And then, but that means over here you have to kind of draw something that's a little bit, where the other arm kind of sticks out. Because if you did both sides like that, it looked kind of a little weird. Put shadow there, maybe, or something. All right, so you kind of get the idea. I know this is really crude, but you have to bear with me. So that's basically what I'm trying to do here. I know you can't tell, but this is the shoulder, and then this is going to be the 5 fingers of injustice, okay? Whatever that means. That's what I'm drawing. Drawing the fist. Just trying to get it figured out here. Yep. So I was talking about July 4th a while ago, and another one of those stupid outdoor bugs. And I was shooting fireworks with my family, and I had one of these big. It's one of these tube things that you drop this little round ball in, and then it kind of falls out, and then it shoots up in the air, and it explodes, and you have to do each firework like that. Yeah, sort of like how that's going, I guess. I'll darken this up just a little bit so you can see it. And there's this line right here that I like, that you couldn't see. And then, does that make it better for you? Yeah, I'm gonna pretend that you're saying yes. So, July 4th is an interesting holiday. Often, for those that don't know or been living on Iraq, it's a American holiday where we shoot fireworks every 4th of July. It's just fireworks everywhere. But it's interesting, the whole symbolic meaning of it, because essentially all the fireworks in some ways are symbolic of the battle that the Americans that came before us fought so that we could have our freedom, that sort of thing. And so when you're driving around the 4th of July and there's smoke everywhere, you hear these explosions and stuff like that. So you kind of living through that experience. And to me, nothing encapsulates the 4th of July as much as the attack on Fort McHenry. I think that's what it was, Fort McHenry in 1812. So you didn't, when you went to watch Sketching Past Midnight with CB here, you didn't expect that this would go the way it did. But here we are. No, it's actually an interesting story because I think, unless I'm mistaken, in 1812, the War of 1812, the British were laying the smackdown on the Americans. They was pouring it on hot and heavy. And they were attacking this fort called Fort McHenry, and they had this big naval ship, a couple of them, and they had cannons, and they were just firing, bombarding throughout the day, well into the night. This fort. Now, on one of these ships, um, there was this guy who was, I guess he was a prisoner, and his name was, what the crap is his name? Francis Key Scott. Francis Key Scott. Now, Francis Key Scott, he was watching all this mayhem. It went on for hours and hours and stuff. And then eventually, went well way into the night, the explosions and the rockets and all this other stuff. And then it got to the point to where the break of day started kicking in. Now, if I remember right, it seemed like Francis Key Scott, Francis Key Scott, like recalls like it being very smoky at the break of the day because they had shot so many rockets and cannons or whatever, cannonballs and stuff. You know, the black gunpowder smoke was just, it made a fog everywhere. But as it started to be lifted, one of the crazy things that he noticed was that the American flag was still there. And it touched him in such a way. Can't see this kneecap I'm drawing. I don't know if you really care about kneecaps, but there you go. But it touched him so much about the whole thing with seeing Fort McKinley with the American flag, all, I think it might have been a little battered looking. I'm not really for sure. That he actually wrote a poem. And this is where it gets interesting. Okay, he wrote this poem, "The Spangled Banner," and interesting thing about that. Okay, here's where it gets. You might enjoy this, or maybe not. Maybe the whole time you're listening to this, like, oh, this is stupid. I don't want to hear this. That's what I want to talk about for the moment. I'll shift gears. Trust me, I will. But no, it was a poem called "The Star Spangled Banner," I think, written by Francis Key Scott, because of the battle he witnessed at Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. Okay, and that whole poem is just a recount of what he saw. And so, some years later, or whenever it was, they decided to make that the national anthem of the United States. And where it gets even more interesting, the music. Na 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 na. That whole music. You know where that music came from? I could be wrong. I always like to throw out these little things to protect myself from being an idiot. But that song, unless I'm mistaken, was a song that was it was a tune with no lyrics that was played in bars. It was a well-known tune played in bars in America. And I don't know what gave them the idea. It's like, well, you know what? You could actually take Francis Key Scott's lyrics to Star Spangled Banner and then play this music and then sing it, and then somehow it works. So think about that. That is so interesting to me. Like July 4th, you got the celebration of signing of the Declaration of Independence, what some historians dispute, happened like on July 2nd, and then some people said that that the whole thing didn't get signed until August, but then a lot of the founders said no, it was July 4th that we signed it. It doesn't matter. July 4th is the thing. Okay, it's just it's the thing, and that before he was president, I believe it was John Adams was the guy who thought that we really needed to. How am I going to draw this? I need to have this stuff figured out. Okay, I'm just going to do the interesting weird pose thing here. I'll figure out his foot. But John, what is his name? John Adams. You know, he's the interesting thing. He said that he believed that July 4th should be like an American holiday that's celebrated every year and from coast to coast. Well, not coast to coast, but you know, wherever America was as a nation. You know, because we weren't coast to coast yet. You know, we were still 13 colonies. That Americans should celebrate that holiday. And then one of the first things, you know, he said that the first way that we celebrate it is by thanking God and making God like a central part of it and stuff, which is interesting because that's not really how people celebrate the 4th of July today. Not saying that you have to celebrate it that way, not saying that you even have to celebrate the 4th of July at all, but I just thought that was interesting. And this comes from a letter that he written to his wife, this information, unless I'm mistaken. And, you know, he went on to talk about fireworks and stuff like that. So he was one of the big advocates to the fireworks and stuff. And I just think it's really fascinating that the national anthem actually recounts a battle that happened in 1812 where our flag was still there, you know, Reckitt's Red Glare, all that good stuff. I'll give you one other fun fact about the 4th of July, and I promise I'll drop it. Okay. And for anyone that's just tuning in, this is Sketching Past Midnight, the highest rated show on YouTube. I have like millions of followers and subscribers. It's beyond belief. And if you're not subscribed to me, you know, what are you missing? If you can't tell the sarcasm, yeah, then you're probably like me. So anyway, the last fun fact about 4th of July is about George Washington. Now, long past when George Washington quit being the president of the United States and he was in his retirement and stuff like that. I think, and I'm building up to a point here that's relevant. You know, he would go and actually work a little bit on his farm or whatever. I don't know. He'd do something. And one day, it had rained, and he had worked in the rain. And so when he got home, he was soaking wet. But he was kind of tired or whatever. And I think he just I can't remember if he just ate food or whatever it was. Ate food. I say that like I'm not a human. He ate food. But he had the wet clothes on. He never took them off. He never dried off or anything like that. And he may have just, you know, went to bed a little bit after that. And he ended up getting pneumonia. Now, I could be wrong about all this. This is just for memory. I might be thinking of somebody else entirely. But yeah, he got pneumonia and he ended up getting sick and he died. Now, seemed like I might have had a history teacher told me that they might have leached him. I can't remember if they tried to leech Abraham Lincoln, because that used to be a legit medical method back in the day where they would take leeches and they would attach them to the body. And the idea was they thought that sometimes you had poisons or bad things in your blood, and by attaching the leeches to you, they would suck that out of you. And that was the idea. I think they may have tried that with George Washington, and I think I might have heard that they may have tried that with Abraham Lincoln. But they tried it with some U.S. president, I can assure you, and it actually wasn't very helpful because, you know, that person's been drained of blood. So it's counterintuitive. Like the idea sounds good on its face, but counterintuitive in that aspect, which, by the way, is interesting that they've brought back leeches as a medical treatment. That is legit. And I can't remember the reasons why. I'd have to actually do the research on it. But to wrap up my whole George Washington thing, to bring it full circle to the 4th of July, George Washington was very specific. He says, when I kick the bucket, I don't want a bunch of fireworks. Please do not shoot a bunch of fireworks after I'm dead. And everybody's like, okay, Okay. And the first thing they did when poor old George Washington died is they shot fireworks throughout the United States to in honor of George Washington. Did the very thing that he didn't want to happen. But to be fair, this is way back before maybe national newspapers. Definitely way before freaking internet, and then somewhere, it's hard to get the word out what George Washington's wishes was, but yeah, it's all right, I guess. So that wraps up my whole spiel about the July 4th. Yeah, some interesting things. I hope you enjoyed that. Be like, that's interesting. Never heard some of that. See, I'm full of interesting little things like that. So what I'm doing right now is I am kind of just shading. And I know I'm being very slow and meticulous, and that's because I actually like what I've kind of got here. And so this is going to be my Play-Doh. This is going to be my skeleton that I'm going to, well, it's not quite a skeleton. It's actually a little bit better form than that. But this is my figure here. And I'm just kind of getting a grasp of the shapes and stuff. Really liking this. I think the big challenge for me is when I draw all the Chainsaw Ninjas, because they need to be everywhere. So that's where it's going to break me. This right here, this will be the fun part, and then the rest of it's going to turn into a job real quick. Because I don't know how many ninjas can I fit on here. I probably can fit 10 or 15. It's a lot of ninjas to draw and try and draw them in different poses and stuff, but it's okay. Okay, let's see here. Now, how am I going to do this? Let's see. Well, you know what? First of all, I need to do this. Get my eraser. Where's my eraser at? This is my X-Acto eraser. I don't know what you call this. Look at this ugly crud that's on there. I didn't do that. I don't know why it's like that. I'm a nasty man. This is a Pentel Click eraser. I guess that's what this is called. Anyway, I like it because all it is a eraser, and like how you like erase with these doodads and they just go away to nothing and stuff like that. And it was Will Avenger that, yeah, look at that crud. I hate that stuff. Pro tip for those that don't really draw much, if you got blue jeans on, erase your eraser on your leg to get that crud off, because it will wipe off on your drawing. And actually, I'm going to take my own advice, because you want to kind of clean off the end of that eraser. You want it to be fresh before it touches the paper. What was I erasing? Oh, yeah. I need to get this. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to shade the abs a little bit. I'm on this big David Finch kick with some of his shading. I love him and Mike Mignola. That's in terms of their shading. I'm a big Dale Keown guy and all kinds of different people. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Okay, so it needs to be here. Can I do this? And then this needs to be more like that. I think, yeah. Whatever that means. Oh, for those that are going to be watching the rewind, I just lost somebody. I had 3 viewers. Then start talking about David Finch, and I was like, I'm out. Yo, I am out. I'm not down with the Finch. Oh, come on. I was streaming the other night, and I had somebody with me for a good long while. And this is nothing against anybody that watches my shows. I'm criticizing my viewers. What kind of guy am I? But my cat Marvel made a guest appearance, and then I lost my viewer. It's like that person was like, "Nope, I'm out." They didn't say that, but they was gone. They hit the brakes. Not like it now that it's turning out. It's kind of fine the way it was before. But I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. Ain't no big deal. And it ain't like it's inked yet or anything like that, you know? I don't know. And if anybody that's watching feels like I'm riffing on you, I'm really not. I'm just kind of more joking than anything. Do, 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 do. Oh, what the crap? You know what? I probably had comments on my other video because I had my StreamYard set on what the crap did I have my StreamYard set on? Banners. You know, like, let me show you. Let me show you this. Bam. I love that. It makes me look like a pro. But anyway, like when you do that, you can't see the comments. And I got all these comments here. I got all these comments here. The whole time I've been sitting here drawing, I've ignored each and every one of them. I'm terrible. I'm something else. I'm the most unprofessional uh, YouTuber of all time. I don't know what this shading on the groin's about, but that's where I'm going. I'm getting ready to answer some of these comments. I apologize. You must forgive me. Abe Sapien says, "Hey y'all, what's up? How's it going?" Uh, Also, in response to when I was talking about the fireworks, for those that are just now tuning in, I shot some fireworks earlier today, and there was like this big tube, and you drop down this ball into it, and you light the fuse. It's a very long fuse, and it just shoots up that single ball up there, and it's a big explosion. You know, it's very tedious to shoot one of those. Watch me mispronounce this, but Abe Sapien says it's a motor, a mortar. Mortar. It's a mortar firework. Nice. Because I couldn't remember what it was called. Sometimes, you know, let me tell you this. I have days where when I'm talking about stuff, I promise I'll get back to drawing. But I have days when I'm drawing stuff and not drawing stuff, but what the heck? I have days. There we go. Where I'll be trying to tell somebody something, like, yeah, I turned off the refrigerator. It's like, why'd you do that? Yeah, well, so nothing would burn up, I made sure that the refrigerator was off before I left. Like, you mean the oven? Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I turned that off. So I get mixed up really bad. I don't know what the deal is with that. Gibran Redinger? Is it Redinger? Redinger. Gibran. I'm terrible with names, and you have to forgive me. And that's not me being silly. I really am. I mispronounced Dale Keon's name for many years. I used to thought it was Dale Neon. And then John Byrne. I used to thought it was John Bry. Carlos Pacheco. I used to call him Carlos Pacho. I don't know. I'm very terrible with names. But he writes, Happy 4th of America. Jeff Lafferty writes, George Washington is dead. Yes, sir. That is the news that I heard. It's very sad, very tragic. But we will move on. We will move on. Honor his memory. Redinger writes, because I feel like I'm 50% right on the last name, maybe. Chainsaw Ninjas, that? Yes, Chainsaw Ninjas. Well, let me show you right quick. I don't think it will hurt anything to show that. Look at my old worn out portfolio. Let's see here. Chainsaw Ninjas. Come on. I gotta have this stuff handy to show people. It's coming. Yeah, I promise you it is. I just have to. I got like a big thick portfolio full of stuff, you know, like fan art and all these different things, and it's hard to find what it is I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, Chainsaw Ninjas. So this is like a 4-page story that that I was going to do. You know, possibly as like a promo to Indiegogo, but also just something fun that was in the spirit of what Wildcat's about. And also, I kind of repurposed these pages because someone approached me about the idea of putting these pages in their comics. So like a 4-page Wildcat story. So that's basically what I'm doing. And here's the Chainsaw Ninjas. Okay. And well, basically the whole story behind the Chainsaw Ninjas is this: like over in Japan, you know, Yakuza and all that stuff. Probably not pronouncing that right because I can't pronounce anything. There are mafia types that have failed the mob boss or whatever. And instead of committing ritual suicide, that Japanese sometimes do. Not that's very, very rare nowadays. No, nowadays it's just business guys jumping out of buildings from the stress. I shouldn't laugh at that, but you know, it's you know. But anyway, but Japanese, you know, samurai used to do like ritual suicide where they would take a blade and, you know, cut across the stomach and, you know, guts fall out and stuff. And that was the way that they would kind of retain their honor for failing their warlord or their shogun or whatever. And so the Chainsaw Ninjas basically are failures, and they're forbidden from doing ritual suicide. So the way that they atone honor is they don these bright yellow outfits where everybody can see them. They pack chainsaws, which are the most noisy weapon known to man. Okay. And they got to go on this suicide mission to take on the worst of the worst, the baddest of the baddest. And so if they make it back alive, they have their honor. Only if they succeed in their mission, and if they die in the service of the mission, then they have their honor. You know. So that's the 2 pages I got so far of that, and the double page spread will give me the other 2 pages, which there's a chance that I may have to do 2 more pages because I don't know the guy who's made this offer to me about putting this in his comic. I don't know if I'll be able to do the double page spread in that, you know, squeeze that in. Let me put my crap up here. Oh, about to knock my camera over. Phew, it is hot in here. Look at this, make sure it's not wet, this can of Dr. Pepper. Turn this fan on. Okay, so thank you, sir. I hope everybody thinks it's awesome. Jeff Lafferty writes, "Nice drawing, man. I appreciate that, especially from the who's of comic artists. You know, I'm gonna stroke your ego, but it's the truth. It's the truth. To me, since we're talking about the 4th of July, say I'm gonna bring this full circle. Jeff Lafferty Like what Abraham Lincoln was to lawyers is what Jeff Lafferty is to comic artists. Because a lot of people don't know this about Abraham Lincoln, but when he was a lawyer. He was born in Kentucky, I think. You know, well, you see, I'm already an unreliable historian here, but he's born in Kentucky, I think. He lived up like in Chicago and stuff like that, and he made a name for himself as a lawyer. You know, and and it got to the point where other lawyers would actually consult Abraham Lincoln for his advice. So that's what I mean by a lawyer's lawyer. And to me, Jeff Lafferty, he can do the fine art stuff, you know, yeah, just the really top notch fine art stuff, and he can do the comic book stuff, and he can do animation stuff like that. So, but Abraham Lincoln was the lawyers, is what Jeff Lafferty is the comic artist. Abe Sapien, who is no slouch either in the art department. He's really good. He's really good. I love his which everybody that's left comments is great artist. But Abe Sapien writes, Finch has a cool style, not like Jeff Lafferty. He is the greatest. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not the only one that sees this stuff. I'm not the only one. But yeah, I love David Finch. He's really, really great. I love his shading. I think it's the biggest thing I like. And his overall layouts. His overall layouts. I like those. I can't think of anything too critical that I could really throw out at him, you know, because in some ways I'd be a hypocrite because I'm not that hot stuff myself, you know, to be critiquing anybody else. But I guess I could as a fan, you know. That's right. Damn that Finch. Well, I don't want to say that, you know. What if I had like magical powers and then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, gosh, ooh, cussed out loud. He's like, oh man, I'm damned. Yeah. Who did this to me? I'm gonna blame you. You know, if I had magical powers, you maybe said that out loud, it'd be your fault. I'd point the finger at you. He is. He is. You know, Jeff hasn't even begun to flex his muscles yet. He's I'm telling you what, the animation stuff and the fine art stuff and the comic book stuff, and not just he does like two types of animation now. He's doing like kind of like the traditional animation, and then he's doing the stop motion stuff. You know, really killer. And he's I don't know if he knows it, but he's turning into Galactus. He's going to be like the devourer of worlds, but he's going to devour money. Everything's just going to click for him all at once, and then people's going to throw money at him to stop him of his artistic might. See, I'm really good at this flattery stuff. I'm awesome at it. Yes, Chainsaw Ninjas do rock. I like Chainsaw Ninjas. I like the idea of it in the bright yellow uh, outfits and stuff like that. I like the absurdity of it, you know. It's coming together pretty good. I mean, you can't really make out the shading because you can see it better there. Not too sure. I'm second guessing myself now that I have a chance to really, because you know, I got this camera in my face. You're welcome, sir. Jeff owns Finch. Finch belongs to Jeff. There's nothing. There's nothing he can do about it now. Maybe, let me do my banner here. I love pushing these buttons. For anybody that's just now watching, sketching past midnight. Oh boy. You know, I'm feeling a little bit better about my leg anatomy. Now, some of you might be saying like, "Oh my God, that is the worst thing he does." Well, don't tell me. Let it be a surprise. Because right now I feel pretty good about it. You gotta let me have a good day. I'm feeling pretty good about my leg anatomy here lately for whatever reason. You know, it's just I don't know. I just one day I just kind of looked at it and I thought to myself, like, you know, I've always had problems with legs and I really do need to sit down and actually have a leg day. You know, like, you know, if you're like lifting weights and stuff like that, you know, you want to spend like a day working the arms and then like a day working the legs and then torso another day. And then, you know, and then take a break from lifting the weights, give your body time to recover, and then get into cardio and just all kinds of stuff. Well, anyway, as comic artists, you know, we kind of do the same thing, or we should. You know, I'm kind of giving myself my advice that I need to take myself. You can't even see the foot I'm drawing. What the crap? Sorry, guys. But oh yeah. Need to take my own advice. But anyway, but as comic artists, we kind of do the same thing. You know, when we want to work on something, we have to kind of set aside time for it. And like, you know, if we're bad at pecs or bad at arms or fists or hands, we have to spend like a day or at least a couple of minutes or a couple hours, you know, just trying to go through the motions of figuring that stuff out, you know. And erase this foot. I didn't like really erase the foot. I just, you know, whatever. You could see that. Lost my train of thought. Okay. Now I'm going to take a break on drawing the dude because there's some things I need to figure out here. I need to figure some stuff out. I like how it's coming together though. I like this much of it. I like that much of it. And then the lower half, I'm not too sure about. But I mean, looking at it here on the table, it looks fine. I mean, but like through the camera don't lie. You know, there's some problems here, I think. But get out of here, weird bug. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out where the crap I'm going to put all these ninjas. I don't know. This is the hard part here. Dang it. I'm going to put a head here. Probably draw it a little bit smaller. Let's draw the head a little smaller. I'm getting into my Bob Ross right now. Just kind of draw little circles here. Little circle here. You know, little happy circle. And yeah. And so the circle isn't lonely. We're going to draw another circle here. And then one right here. Because, you know, once you start with 3 circles, you got to have 4 to even it out. And, you know, if you're OCD and you like odd numbers, you got to put another circle right about here. Yeah. This is the stuff like this is why I'm not a comic book professional. There's no rhyme and reason to what I do. It's just pure insanity. All right, so let me tell you my concern right now. What I'm thinking. I know you can't really tell, but there's a box here and a box here that I put here because I'm going to show this bad guy showing up. Because you saw the other 2 pages, and if you can remember, that sounded insulting, but if you remember, in those 2 pages, Wildcat fights these chainsaw ninjas, and then on the last thing, he cuts this one's head off, or whatever. I need to show how this guy shows up. So in these 2 panels is going to be how I do that. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to put in these 2 panels yet. And then here's my dilemma. Besides that, I think I need to put something here. And I'm thinking about putting a Chainsaw Ninja right here. But I don't want to have this clash with these 2 panels. Really I need to get these 3 things figured out. You know. All right. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I put another Chainsaw Ninja in? I don't know, but I'm going to. I'm gonna put one right here. All right. So I didn't fit as many as I thought, but like I think what'll end up happening is like these might be like kind of full body ninjas that I'll draw, and then like I'll put like some heads that go behind the other ninjas and stuff like that. Um, let me see. All right, now I need to figure out the star of the show. I gotta have Wildcat on here. Where's Wildcat gonna go? So in the original thing, if I can go to my handy dandy sketchbook, you have to bear with me here. This was yeah, kind of like the rough idea. I wouldn't really set on this idea, you know, because anatomical problems, which I still got anatomical problems, even with a different pose. I have my Chainsaw Ninjas kind of in the background, and I have Wildcat here, but I felt like Wildcat needed to be more explosive or something more going on there. But I think for the sake of time and just getting stuff done, it's got to be this. And the way I look at it is I can always do another double page spread. And I don't even know if the double page spread will even fit in the comic that this guy offered me to put my 4 pages in. You know, I may have to do like 2 individual pages. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know anything. So, I need that. I kind of need that for reference a little bit. Okay, so I don't know. Trying not to make my lines too dark, but I kind of have to make them dark for the camera so you can actually see what the crap I'm doing. What I'm doing. I had a little bit of sound like Rambo for a moment. What the crap I'm doing. What I'm doing. I ain't bothering nobody. Hey, yo, Adrian. I'm drawing Wildcat. Everybody's favorite over the top superhero dude. Oh gosh. Come on. Get the fingers in there. I guess. Let's see. I think I'll draw maybe like 10 or 20 more minutes. I don't know. I was like, who knows? God, what a nose! Look how that nose is. I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna rock that nose. Now I'll probably use reference here because I'm not fully satisfied with the Wildcat face I drew in the sketch, but I'm not against it either. I don't know. All right, I got another comment. Gotta answer these comments. Jeff Lafferty writes, "Great show. See you around, dude. Hit in the sack." Jeff Lafferty tapped out. And you know what that means? Because he tapped out, I'm absorbing all his comic book powers. All those comments that I offered him, all that praise. Now, like all that comic book powers transferring to me. I'm like sucking it up. I'm not doing that. And now I can do animation, and now I can do fine art and all this other stuff. So you've made a mistake, sir. You've made a mistake. But you have a good night, though. I'm absorbing your comic book prowess right now. I can already feel myself drawing better. Yes, look at that. Look at those skills coming together. You'll rue this day. Get off there, weird bugs. Somebody's going to call an exterminator. They're going to feel sorry for me. They're going to be like, he's got weird little green bugs. And for those that don't know, those weird little green bugs. See, my kitchen has a back porch, and when we went to shoot some fireworks, or whatever, we left the back porch light on, and when we got home, there was like I don't know. Here, let me get my sketchbook here. There's like it's like a light bulb there. Oh, you can't see that crap. Let me get a real pen here. I got this light bulb. Got this cord that comes down, right? It's bright. And there's like, I don't know how could I draw this, but like there's like, yeah, here. Wait a minute. I know what to do. This is what it looked like when I came home, okay? There was all these little green bugs, but proportionate wise, these things are huge. And they were just all over this cord, going all the way up this cord. They're just all over this light, and they spread out almost like 2 feet diameter, and they just like going berserk. Little stupid things coming in the house. Look at all these different utensils of mayhem that I got. I gotta have everything to draw this stuff, and it still doesn't help me. But that's okay, because Jeff Lafferty tapped out and he went to bed. I'm absorbing his powers now. I am becoming the super artist that I was always meant to be. And yes, I am vain. I have an ego. But dang it. I tell you something cool that's happening. My pitiful, well, I shouldn't say pitiful, because then that means everybody that is pitiful, and I don't mean to imply that, but I'm going to say it anyway. My pitiful subscriber count, is actually going up a little bit. Getting a few subscribers. I'm actually getting a few more followers on Twitter. I don't know what the correlation is. I don't know what is the cause here, but all I know is after I started doing these live streams, I'm noticing something is happening here, and I like it. God, that sounded kind of pervish. I like it. I like what's happening here. I have not much clue what I'm doing with Wildcat Face. I may erase all this. I'm just kind of spitballing it. Let's see here. Yeah. So, I have a way that I do draw Wildcat's face, but like I'm trying to find better ways to draw it. I want him to look cool. I want people to say when they see Wildcat, that is cool. I want people to say when they see Wildcat, I want to be him when I grow up. No, don't be Wildcat when you grow up. That's probably a bad idea. Be more like Superman in the 80s. Yeah, be like that if you want to be like a superhero. Truth, justice, and the American way. Okay, I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I'll say a few parting words, and then well, I'll call it a day. Me kind of zoom up here so you can get a good gander of what it is that I'm working on. I'm trying to. Got my 2 squares for explaining how this guy shows up. Got my circles laid out for all the ninjas. All the ninjas I'm going to add. I got this, this bad guy, whatever, doing his thing. Then I got Wildcat over here in the corner, like, I'm Wildcat. That's exactly how he sounds like. No, not really. Anyway, yeah. What are my parting thoughts here before I hit the road? Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and like how at the end of all these YouTube videos they always say like and subscribe. Well, please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, so that way it helps me in the algorithm. And YouTube really doesn't promote live streams anyway, because they just don't, for whatever reason, when it comes to the algorithm. But it may help. And subscribe if you haven't already done so, because I'm really trying to get to 500 subscribers. Like, I got this weird thing that happens to me where I will be how can I explain it? Like, I'll get a lot of followers on Twitter, and I'll get a couple of subscribers here and there on YouTube, and what it always ends up happening is 3 to 4 people will leave. They'll bail on me. They'll be like, they'll see one thing that I did that I like, and then they'll see another video or drawing that I did, and they'll be like, this guy's not who I thought he was. And they're gone. So that's my theory anyway. But it's this weird thing where my follower count and my subscriber count is always yo-yoing. And I just want so badly to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube. I'm so close. So close. Anyway, yeah, I think I've said everything I can say. So I really appreciate you all sticking with me on this little show that I call Sketching Past Midnight, where I just kind of sketch, draw, talk about things, and we just kind of have a fun time. And I really appreciate you being here with me. I don't really have a set schedule for when I do these things. I've been doing them almost every night. I just something fun to do. Where I work on my craft, or I actually work on stuff that's serious, and and I like hearing back from all of you as well. And let me make sure I hit the comments so I didn't miss anything. So I just want to let you all know that you're like family to me, even though I don't show up to Thanksgiving or anything like that. I respect each and every one of you. I don't care what your politics are, or what your religion is, or if you don't have a religion or any of that stuff. I respect you as a person. Judge by the whole, not by the part. And you're all wonderful people. And I hope that you've had a great 4th of July. I hope that whatever you're doing, that you're having much success doing whatever you're doing. And I hope to see you in the next video. And thank you to all my loyal, royal, faithful, and true crew who's been with me from the beginning, thick and thin. As always, this is CB Smallwood, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, not Abe. You're awesome.